The Open House. So this film stars Dylan, Minnette, and Piercy Dalton, and it was on my radar for a couple of weeks, I think, or maybe a week and a half, and it kind of intrigued me as to what this movie was about. But then again, the trailer really didn't do much for me. I just said, "Oh, it's on Netflix. I'll see it. I'm sure it's Dylan Minnette. He's cool. I like him." The only thing that actually really interests me was the title, The Open House. That is about as compelling as a sandwich on the kitchen counter. It's there, you know it's there, but you don't care unless you're hungry. So if you're watching this film, you're probably starving for a movie. Probably where I'm at right now. Oops. So The Open House is about a mother and a son. I don't quite remember the mom's name, but I do remember the son's name. His name is Logan. And Logan and his family are a happy family for the most part, despite the impending foreclosure bills coming their way and indicating that they're in debt. But just as soon as that's established, and if things couldn't get any worse, their father is killed in a freak accident, causing these two to relocate for a new start because they are financially in debt and really can't go anywhere. So the rest of the film is about them adapting to their new surroundings while grieving. All perfectly fine. All while I think there might be a killer on the loose, I don't know. Because the first 30 minutes, nothing happens. It starts with false tension. I don't like lotion. I don't like lotion, I don't like lotion, I don't like lotion at all, but I've got eczema. There is a false scare to someone being in the way in the road. There is a compelling scene that maybe the killer came into the open house event. And that was at the 24-minute mark. Do we know if he stayed or even if those boots that walked in was the killer's? That was a way too obvious shot as well. Like, I mean... These are a feat of a killer. And if you're feeling generous, you may look into this and see it as a way to attempt setup. But nothing happens. Nothing. Look at me. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. Let's put it to you this way. There is a scene where the potential killer walks in. Okay, that's said and done. Fine. Then the next scene is Mother and Logan talking. It conveys how broke the mom is, but the scene is just... stale. I accidentally skipped ahead. I skipped from the 25 mark to 30, thinking I could be that guy and say, I skipped ahead and didn't really miss anything. And then I saw a scene where it was a mysterious sound of music and Logan was putting his phone down. And I was like, maybe something interesting happened by here. So I best go back. This is what happens. Look, I could vent till the cows come home about how boring this was, and when it comes to the story, there doesn't seem to be much here. It's a mother and a son grieving and allowed to stay at an open house. They meet random people, and that doesn't even seem very interesting at all. And the movie plays itself so seriously. It's not in the least bit funny. The directing is stiff, and the acting is fine, but it's not much at all. The dialogue is boring, and it leaves nothing for these characters to do. I'm setting up tension. If you wanted to set up tension, I would imagine you'd set up a scene like this, you know? I'm talking, you're watching, it's all good, right? But there's a door opening up behind me, isn't there? Instead, it's like this. If you wanted to set up tension, I would imagine you'd just set up a scene like this, you know? I'm talking, you're watching, it's all good, right? But there's a door opening up behind me, isn't there? It's just boring. And after 30 minutes, I looked at the timer and went, oh no, I have a whole nother hour with this movie. So the killer is in the house, yet to show himself or do anything except for taking Logan's phone, which is gone for days. Logan's glasses go missing for a scene, and the killer plays with the water heater so Logan's mom freaks out a couple of times. Then, okay, it was like this film was building up towards this moment. A moment, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to be an argument. The antics of the killer have made this moment happen. The mom is handed Logan's phone from a plumber, no less. They called in because, the water heater is acting up. So she's handed the phone. And suddenly the mom starts putting two and two together, thinking her son is messing with her. And for good reason. So she finds a photo crumpled up in the trash. The plumber found Logan's phone, and surely Logan did all this. Surely. He's acting out. So the scene builds to an argument, and everything spoken was paper thin. They talk about things that we were never witness to when it comes to their family. Logan becomes an asshole immediately when his mom starts accusing him of foul play. And the mom is absolutely emotional. And Logan now suddenly has resentment against his mom. It ends horribly with Logan saying that he wishes his mom died instead of his father, which is, whoa, brilliant. Way to rack up the tension there. That whole argument was absolutely the most confusing thing I have ever seen in a long time. In the end, this movie was boring, and not a lot happens. In the last 45 minutes, maybe they try to tack up the tension, but even then, in the last 24 minutes, that's where it gets so sloppy. Conflicts are directionless, meaning that they just set up and then they're ignored later on. The killer is never revealed, the characters are lifeless, and I just did not like this film at all. I hated this film, and no, do I not look forward to watching it again or owning it on DVD at all. And I actually would say, to save this film any kind of further criticism, if you want to make this better, think of it as like a prologue to the real story that's about to happen. In fact, it could have been like the opening story to a Criminal Minds Villain of the Week episode. Bam! I just fixed this film and made it 10 times better. You're welcome. With all that said, what did you guys think of this film? Did you see it? What did you think of it? Thank you all so much for watching. Here on my channel, I review movies, sometimes TV show reviews in 7 minutes or less, either recommending them or doing recaps, and universe reviews, taking a franchise and talking about them for all intents and purposes of talking about their character arcs, story arcs, that all encompass a universe. Please subscribe, and I'm going to get you more videos in the future.